Away from that, John Dramani Mahama takes over as president of Ghana, continuing the long-standing tradition where president-elect wear traditional attire at the inauguration. But this time, his outfit carries more than just ceremonial significance. It conveys a message woven in Adinkra symbols. My colleague Emmanuel Jivenu explores the meanings behind these symbols to reinforce his inaugural address to the nation.
President John Dramani Mahama holds more than just the mantle of leadership. His Agbada carries a message woven in Adinkra symbols, a fabric rich with tradition and purpose. His white garment adorned with kente stripes, symbolizing the unity and pride of the nation. Beyond the fabric, however, lies a deeper narrative, a silent sermon conveyed through the four Adinkra motifs placed in cardinal positions: Jinyame, Sankofa, Dwinimin, and Nyamidia. Each symbol tells a story. These symbols are an embodiment of values, cultural wisdom, and aspirations, mirroring his campaign promises, inaugural speech, and vision for Ghana. The president's attire bears the enduring mark of Jinyame, which means except God, the most revered of Adinkra symbols. This motif proclaims a reflection of President Mahama's acknowledgement of divine providence in his return to the presidency after 8 years. In his inaugural address, he began with gratitude.
Our Father who art in heaven, we thank you for giving us this day, a day that offers me, your humble servant, a unique opportunity to work to reset our dear country, Ghana.
The Sankofa is perhaps the most popular Adinkra symbol, representing redemption, renewal, and a nation ready to correct its course. Mahama's campaign slogan echoed these ethos: resetting Ghana and building a country we want together. His words at the ceremony reaffirmed this.
Today should mark the beginning of a new opportunity, an opportunity for us to make a difference in our governance and our economic management. We shall reset our dear nation, Ghana.
The intricate design of the Dwinimin, symbolizing strength, tempered by humility. Mahama's journey is a proof to this. Once a president, then an opposition leader, and now returning with an air of introspection. He embodies the balance of power and humility. His words capture this duality.
As your next leader, I shall strive to exercise sound judgment and be able to make the right calls at the right time. I will have the humility and presence of mind to take responsibility for any challenges and be willing to act firmly and timelessly to resolve the challenges that we face as a nation.
Finally, the Nyamidia, signifying God's presence and protection, completes the motifs. In Ghanaian culture, this sacred stamp is a symbol of reliance on divine guidance. As President Mahama stood beneath the Ghanaian sky, he offered thanks. Nyamidia reinforces his promise of leadership rooted in faith and a vision of unity and progress.
With Nana, Jane, Opoku-Agyeman by my side, we are poised to embark on a journey of progress and inclusivity, united in our vision for a more prosperous Ghana.
As President John Dramani Mahama leads Ghana into a new chapter, he does so with a clear vision, one of resetting Ghana, building a brighter future together, and relying on the values that have shaped the nation for generations. Emmanuel Jivenu, Joy News, Accra.
Well, interesting there. Historian Kweku Daku-Ankra joins us on phone to help us understand these symbols better. Thank you so much for joining us here on Joy News Pride. Could you help us understand the cultural and maybe the historical significance of the Adinkra symbols featured on the president's attire?
Okay, thank you very much, and greetings to your listeners. For some of the Adinkra symbols used on the president's dress. As you can see, his dress is first of a northern apparel, which is something that is where in the northern communities, particularly of Mende origin. So you can see that kind of dressing moving all the way from the northern regions of Ghana up to the West African, northern part of West Africa. So they wear that kind of dress. You see Senegalese presidents, you see Malian presidents, all of them wearing that kind of dress. And then you have the Adinkra symbols as well as the Kente representing the South. So the dress itself shows the north and south of the country, and it's also symbolically representing the people of Ghana as unifying people. And for the Adinkra symbols that are in, we have the Jinyami, which literally means except God. But the meaning itself is Obiare Nim Ji Onyami. No one knows except God. And this name exalts the supreme power of God as insulation from evil forces. It derives, as I said, from Akan proverb, Ji Onyami Nko No Nim, except God who alone knows. This symbol actually shows a hand which is clenched with a finger showing. So the clenched fist is with a right forefinger pointing the skywards. The forefinger in Akan is Achrakwan in Setiakro, the single finger, meaning there is no one omnipotent God. There is only one power in the universe, and that God, according to Akan, is the expression of the dependable and exceptional God that will lead or point out the way above others. So this name, Jinyami, communicates the fact that when it comes to the barest power of nature, no one can unravel the mystery around him, nor would be able to challenge, overthrow, or kill him except God. So that is for the Jinyami symbol that we saw in the dress. And then we have the Nyamidia, which literally means God's tree. It is acknowledgement of presence of God. Nyamidia is a tree-forked pronged stick, which in the olden days it is planted in the front of the house or sometimes in the courtyard and in the front of homes with a small earthenware pot, a calabash or a brass basin filled with water, and herbs is placed between the forked stick for purification and cleansing rites. And this is done because it really purifies the person as well as protects the person from against any evil forces. This also shows that because it's a straight-forked tree, it shows the Trinity of God, which we say Okoromansa in Akan tradition, the Trinitarian notions of Akan belief, which you could also find in the Bible. So the Nyamidia, it actually acknowledges the presence and protection of God, and also worship and the veneration of God in sincerity. So in all, it is a symbol of worship and veneration. Then you have the Sankofa. Sankofa is a bird which has its head turning backwards, and it means go back to the past. So the idea there is that when you forget something, you can always go back and take it, so that the past is a knowledge bank, a reservoir of information that we can always go back and take and use it as a guide or a compass for the future we want to actually get for our lives. So if you want to have a clear path, a clear vision, a clear understanding of where you want to be, it is important that you have a sober reflection by going backwards and taking what has taken place and using them to guide you for the future. So that is for the Jinyami. And then we have the Oganini. Oganini is a ram head, and it shows you that when we talk about ram, there's an adage that Oganini so it is the ram that urinates on its center, and the center shows the equal power and capability, the unshakable nature of the person, which also shows another aspect of the individual, because it is center, It gives the individual element of stability.
Okay.
It also shows his patience, and it also shows a symbol of resilience. So you see the ram, when he wants to fight, he goes back and then he knocks off. And when it knocks, you can see that whatever is working against can shake. And it can even wound itself and still succeed. So the ram reflects the resilience and the patience and the ability of the individual in standing all the vagaries of time and emerging victorious. And that is what we see in that symbol.
Thank you so much for that deep insight there. But briefly, before we let you go, tell us how these Adinkra symbols have been part of the Ghanaian culture for centuries. Or are we now seeing them being used by presidents and statesmen?
Oh, it has always been there. And if you look at the presidential seat, the Associate, which was first designed by Kofi Antobam, you see that there are a lot of symbols on it. And if you go to Akanchi's places, you realize that they have a lot of symbols. Asantehini, for instance, when he comes out of his room, there is a symbol up there that shows that Radibibi was Roman Sanka God. There is something in heaven. Let me have it. He will look up, he will first come out with his backwards and then look up at that and say it 3 times before he will turn and move.
All right.
And these are all some of the things that show that it is part and parcel of our culture and not a new phenomenon.
Great. Thank you so much, Kweku Dako, for speaking to us and throwing a bit more light on this Adinkra symbols. We are grateful. But it's a good time to bring in the designer, Matthew Asampambila and Agambiri. He is the President Mahama's designer, and he joins us via Zoom. Grateful for joining us here. Your work is indeed beautiful. Could you walk us through the inspiration behind the President Mahama's inauguration attire you designed? Kindly unmute so we can hear you. Mr. Agambiri, if you can hear me, I'm asking, walk us through what informed the decision to incorporate the Adinkra symbol into President Mahama's attire.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear now.
First of all, let me thank your cherished viewers and also to God for this day. And secondly, to His Excellency, President Mahama, for giving me this great opportunity to create or co-create his outfit for today. What actually inspires his outfit has been the fact that President Mahama himself is someone who believes so much in Ghana, and he wanted something of Ghana from Ghana and by Ghana. And so he decided that, well, when I approached him on designing the outfit, I gave him some few, ideas as to what I wanted to do. And in fact, he was actually a very key, person in co-creating the brand. So he said, okay, let's get to work. But he really needs something that represents Ghana. And he needs a Ghanaian to do it. So that was actually the brain behind the entire outfit. That inspires.
Okay, so whose decision was it to incorporate the Adinkra symbols? Was it a decision he took, or both of you decided to put those designs in there?
Okay, so I have been planning and thinking of what to do on his outfit for the past 2 months. And so what actually happened behind the scenes was that I would usually come up with something and then go show it to him. Then he either approves or gives his contributions. So the Adinkra symbols were originally taught by me and shown to him for his approval. So it was a bit of a teamwork between myself and His Excellency.
I see. So as a designer, how does it feel knowing that your work is not just a piece of fashion, but a message woven into the country's political and cultural narrative, which is being heralded by everyone now?
Well, it's a great feeling, and I'm proud to be a Ghanaian, because to be able to put in all those symbols, as the historian already demonstrated, they were first been done by Ghanaians long before I was born. So it's Ghana that gave me the opportunity to be able to put in those works. So I'm proud to be a Ghanaian today. And secondly, fashion is a universal language. It's a language that everybody hears without you having to say a word. And for the rich culture of Ghana to be able to put up all those things for generations today and generations yet to come, it's such a great feeling to be here today. And I'm really proud of the brand Bondana, and proud of Ghana, and proud of everyone.
All right. Thank you so much. We believe that this will bring some goodies back. You get a lot of contracts and push the Ghana brand forward.